So I'm a little late to the party on this, but you guys are familiar over the last several weeks what has happened with all of these meme stocks. These stocks that the Reddit group got together, tried to sort of corner the market, if you will. Basically, they found stocks that had high short positions and tried to squeeze the shorts. And it has created some interesting opportunities. And I guess the theme of this training video is that you want to strike when the iron is hot. You want to make hay while the sun shines. Whatever metaphor or analogy you want to use. It seems to me, as a trader going back to 1987, I don't have any documentation on this, but this is just my sort of seat of the pants feel, is that going back, 30 plus years at this, it seems like about twice a year. It seems, and it doesn't come evenly, it's not every 6 months, but it seems like about twice a year you get some really, really advantageous situations that are just absolutely layup kind of type trades. And we're getting those. We have been getting those for a couple of weeks now in a lot of these meme stocks. And I wanted to show you one particularly here on TLRY, just because it is a trade that I did in 2018. And then I've never touched the stock again. I traded this in 2018 and I never touched it again. So there's all kinds of reasons that can create opportunities. Sectors, industries, they come in and out of vogue, right? So there was a period of time there recently that we just went through with 5G stocks. Any company that had anything to do with 5G was absolutely blowing up. Companies that have anything to do with Bitcoin tend to sort of have a mania attached around them. EVs, electrified vehicle market, the granddaddy of all, of course, being Tesla, but not just Tesla. There's a half dozen other companies in that segment that have seen this sort of emotional rather than rational trading behind them that push things to extremes. And back in the day, back in 2018, that segment was the legalized cannabis market, the pot market. And cannabis was not still legal in all 50 states in the United States, but it was in Canada. And so a lot of these companies were based in Canada. TLRY was one of the main ones, and it went through a massive, massive bubble. I was able to trade that in a nicely profitable trade, and I just am in the process of doing it again here. So you can see these are my trades that I just initiated. Just started these back. Today is, by the way, February the 15th. And so I initiated these trades on February the 11th. Now, I still haven't closed out some of my short positions here, so that $22,000 profit will change as those figures are closed out. But if you look at my open positions right now in TLRY, basically I'm short just 401 shares right now. I've written a covered put against those, and you can see my numbers. At this point, I only have about $14,000 of capital tied up in this trade, and over the last week, I've brought in $8,000 on these positions, with another $1,200, almost $9,300, bringing in almost $9,300 on a $13,000 investment. And as long as premiums stay up, it should be the gift that just keeps on giving. And so I wanted to share this example with you because I did this trade, or this concept, again, back in 2018. And I put a presentation together on it. And so I thought this would be a good time to break out that presentation, share it with you, kind of understand the philosophy behind that. So I just titled this, How to Take Advantage of the 99 Percenters, the masses that really are just lemmings. And in this case, I made $50,000 in a day. This was a $50,000 profit trade for me. So TLRY, the pot stocks were just in this time frame really coming into vogue. I pulled up some of the headlines. These were some of the top stories of the day. just across the board. This was not for the legalized cannabis market. These were just the top stories, the top news stories for the day. They're all pot stocks. Every single article, every single story was just about these pot stocks, and it creates this mania, it creates this hype machine where stuff is just absolutely soaring with emotional, non-logical reasons behind that, right? Obviously it was a new sector in the marketplace. I had never heard of a legalized cannabis company. I had no idea on the fundamentals or metrics of them. So TLRY was leading the way here, and so I took a look at TLRY and I tried to do some analyses. Because see, the problem here is that, after all of this mania is reported, a lot of times it's too late, right? It's too late at that point. You have to be able to see these opportunities develop and jump on them right away. And so I looked at TLRY and I said, what's the deal with this company? I'm not familiar with them, obviously. At the time, TLRY was absolutely soaring. And the stock had reached a valuation level of $25 billion. That's what the market cap, that's what the stock market said this company was worth, was $25 billion. Did a little Google Earth search on it, and here is the home office. Now, I'm assuming this was 2018, so I'm assuming they've maybe progressed a little bit since then. But this was the state of the company back in 2018 when the stock market had pushed it so high that it had a $25 billion valuation. This is a company that had $21 million in revenue, zero income, and it was, you can see there in the left-hand corner, it was just a prefab warehouse was the company's headquarters, and it was a dirt parking lot. This is TLRY. This is a picture of a $25 billion company, right? So, of course, the premise is no, this is a little bit irrational, and so we waited for a technical indicator, and we looked for a doji. A doji on exhaust, just this pent-up buying pressure at some point was going to abate. And just coincidentally, just recently, I was in GameStop. I was in the GME trade as well, and got caught under the water in this trade. I was short GME at 115, and it went up all the way to 500 at one point pre-market. Never actually traded there, but obviously way above my 115 strike price. But it was that exhaustion doji that I saw in GME that gave me confidence in that trade. That trade's worked out. That trade is now a profitable trade for me. But that's what we were looking for, was that exhaustion candle. And the next day was absolutely insane. The stock basically got cut in half. From 300, it dropped down to about 150 on the day before it rebounded just a little bit. But just an absolute insane day. And I wanted to just share that with you guys because we are having this mania now today. When you can go find a stock like a GME, like TLRY, let's go look at the tables right now. Here's GME. Let's look at the implied volatility and see where that's at. Coming down. It's coming down. It's a conservative 160 now, 160% on GME. Still very tradable, guys. TLRY, take a look at TLRY on its percentages. It's up there around 180%. Guys, as a option seller, where we look to sell expensive options and collect premium, if you can't figure out a way to build a credit trade of some sort, some strategy, around a stock that has 150%, 180% IV, man, you need to go back to credit theta selling school, because there's a trade to be had there, and it's a powerful one. So anyway, just wanted to share that with you guys. My trade right now in TLRY, it's not gonna equate to another $50,000, but I'll bet you it's somewhere in the range of $15,000 profit before all of this is said and done. And again, I don't remember the capital amount that I had in TLRY when I made that 50 grand in one day, but it was a whole heck of a lot more than 13 grand. It was a whole heck of a lot more than 13 grand. And to bring in 8 or 9 grand on a $13,000 investment, that's not too shabby, guys. Again, that's not because you're an amazing trader. It's not because I'm an amazing trader. It's because you find the opportunities when they present themselves.